Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig Surprises. Ooh! Mommy Pig has a surprise for Peppa. This is for you, says Mommy Pig. And in Peppa, a mysterious box. It's a special box to put surprise things in. Ooh! Oh, says Peppa excitedly. What should I put in it first? Only you can decide that, Peppa, replies Mommy Pig. It's your special box. Peppa goes upstairs. This is my special box, she tells George. I'm going to put surprise things inside. George wants to help. No, George, says Peppa. You have to wait outside. Aww. When Peppa is done, George tries to guess what is inside the box. Dancer, ooh, cries George. Rattle, shake. No, George, says Peppa, giggling. It's not a dinosaur. Now it is Daddy Pig's turn to guess. Is it my glasses, he asks. Silly Daddy, cries Peppa. You're wearing your glasses. Peppa goes to the living room. I made a special box for George too, says Mommy Pig. Oh, says Peppa. What's inside? It's a surprise, says Mommy Pig. Rattle, shake. George, says Peppa. Let's show each other our surprise things at the same time. Snort, agrees George. Peppa counts down. 3, 2, 1. George and Peppa both open their boxes. What could be inside? Ooh, let's find out. Peppa has a trumpet. Toot toot. It's a bit of a noisy surprise, says Peppa, giggling. She looks to see what George has. Oh, let's see. George has a drum. Bang! Another noisy surprise, cheers Peppa. Peppa and George march around the living room playing music. Bang, toot, bang, toot. Oh. Mommy Pig comes in with another surprise. Yummy. I know where we should keep these surprises, says Daddy Pig. In our tummies. Everyone laughs. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. See you next time. And go ahead and check out my Peppapig playlist, guys. And join us again tomorrow for another Peppapig Storytime. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig 5-Minute Peppa Stories. And today we'll be reading George's New Balloon. Peppa and George are driving home with Granny and Grandpa Pig when they see Miss Rabbit's ice cream store. Let's stop for ice cream, says Granny Pig. Why not? Says Grandpa Pig. I think we deserve it. Snort, snort. Peppa, Granny, and Grandpa Pig choose their ice cream. George is next. Dinosaur, says George. I think George wants a dinosaur balloon, says Miss Rabbit. Alright, how much is it, Grandpa Pig says. $10, please, says Miss Rabbit. is a bit expensive, but he buys it for George. Hold on tight to it, Miss Rabbit says. But George let go and the balloon starts to float away. Grandpa Pig quickly grabs the string. This is very valuable, George. I'll hold it on the way home, says Grandpa Pig. Outside Granny and Grandpa Pig's house, George played with his balloon. George, says Peppa, this is an up balloon, and if you let it go again, it will go up to the moon. Moon, cries George, and he lets the balloon go. The balloon goes up and up, but Grandpa Pig catches it just in time. Peppa and George have gone indoors to keep the balloon safe. Hello, Polly, says Peppa. George has got a new balloon. Squawk, cries Polly. Balloon! Both Polly and George love the balloon. Oh no, George cries, letting go of the balloon. The balloon floats all the way out the door, up the stairs, and into the attic. Don't worry, it's safe in here, says Peppa. The only way out of the attic is the window, says Granny Pig, and the window is always shut. But the window is not shut. The balloon escapes outside. Oh my. Your balloon is going to the moon, George, says Peppa. Wah! Cries George. Just then Daddy Pig arrives to take them home. Oh dear, says Daddy Pig. Squawk, balloon! There must be some way we can get the balloon back, cries Granny Pig. Squawk, balloon, says Polly Parrot. Polly flies high up into the sky and catches the balloon string in her beak. Polly to the rescue, cries Grandpa Pig. Polly Parrot has saved the day. Hooray! George cheers. Who's a clever Polly? Says Granny Pig. Who's a clever Polly? Repeats Polly Parrot. George, don't let go of your balloon again, says Peppa. Daddy Pig has an idea. I'll tie the balloon to your wrist. George, he says, that will stop it from floating away. George is very happy. He loves his balloon. And everyone is happy his balloon was rescued. Snort. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Channel. See you next time. And go ahead and check out the Peppapig playlist. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig Princess Peppa. It is bedtime for Peppa and George. Mommy Pig tucks them in and turns off the light. Good night, little piggies, she whispers. Downstairs, Granny and Grandpa Pig arrive to have dinner with Mommy and Daddy Pig. They all sit down to eat. But suddenly, they hear noises coming from upstairs. Is that Peppa and George? Asks Grandpa Pig. Looks like the little piggins aren't sleeping after all. Mommy Pig goes upstairs to check on Peppa and George. They are wide awake. Peppa, George, quickly now, hop into bed, says Mommy Pig. You're making lots of noise, and it's too late for you to be up. We aren't sleepy yet, says Peppa. Will you tell us a story, asks Peppa. We promised to go to sleep after a story. All right, says Mommy Pig. Once upon a time there was a princess. Peppa jumps in. Oh yes, says Mommy Pig. Once upon a time there was a courageous princess named Peppa. She lived in a castle with Sir George, the brave knight. Snort. And the princess and the knight had a cook who made the most delicious food ever. That's Peppa. Of course, says Mommy Pig. She made cupcakes and cookies. And a cherry jelly tower, says Peppa. That was the princess's favorite food. The princess and the knight invited their friend Peppapig, and they all ate the yummy desserts. Wow. Yes, says Mommy Pig. And afterward, everyone was so full they fell right asleep. The end. Then they woke up, cries Peppa, and they invited a wizard to the castle. Abra. A wizard, asked Mommy Pig. Yes, says Peppa. And he did a big magic show. But then, all of a sudden, a big green dragon came to the castle. Peppa continues. Laughs George. Oh no, says Mommy Pig. How scary. The dragon wasn't scary, says Peppa. He was just very hungry. So the king came and ordered the cook to make a picnic, says Peppa. He did. Mommy Pig asked with a yawn. Yes, says Peppa. The cook, the wizard, the princess, the knight, the king, Peppapig, and the dragon sat down to a big feast. And then they went to sleep, murmurs Mommy Pig, as her head drops to one side. No, says Peppa. Then they had a party. Oh, Mommy Pig. The princess arrived to the party in a beautiful carriage, says Peppa. She came with her friend Susie Sheep. Sir George pulled the carriage with his oars. All of their friends came to the castle to dance. There was Rebecca Rabbit and Peppapig and Danny Dog. Downstairs, Daddy Pig, Granny Pig, and Grandpa Pig are wondering what is taking Mommy Pig so long. Maybe we should see what's going on upstairs, says Daddy Pig. I think I hear snoring, says Granny Pig. Mommy Pig must have finally gotten Peppa and George to fall asleep. Snort, snort. But Peppa and George are not snoring. Mommy Pig is. It looks like Princess Peppa is the best at telling bedside stories, says Daddy Pig. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. See you next time. And go ahead and check out the Peppapig playlist. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig Gardening. It's a lovely sunny day. Peppa and George are visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig. Grandpa Pig is in his garden. What are you doing, Grandpa? Asks Peppa. I'm planting seeds, says Grandpa Pig. First, I make little holes, then I pop some seeds in them. After that, I cover the seed with soil and water them, says Grandpa. He picks up a watering can and sprinkles a little water on the patch. Everything in my garden grew from tiny seeds, says Peppapig. Peppa points on the big apple tree. Even your apple tree, she adds. Grandpa Pig nods. Yes. Would you like to plant the seed, Peppa? Asked Grandpa Pig. Yes, please, cries Peppa. You must be patient, says Grandpa Pig. Seeds can take a long time to grow. Peppa makes a little hole and drops the seed into it. She covers the seed with soil and pats it down. Pat, pat, pat. Peppa sprinkles water over the patch. I wonder what it's going to grow into, she says. You'll see, said Grandpa Pig, chuckling. Come and check on it next time you visit. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. When Peppa and George visit Grandpa Pig's garden again, they find something very special growing. Ooh, strawberries. Yes, Peppa. Our seed has grown into a beautiful strawberry plant. Yum, yum. Peppa and George picked 2 delicious strawberries and nibbled them. Ooh, we love strawberries. Oh, yes. They are so delicious. Grandpa, can we plant something else? Asked Peppa. Please. Yes, says Grandpa Pig. Now it's George's turn. Look at George digging, huh? George knows exactly what he wants to grow. I hope it's not a dinosaur. He digs a hole with his hands. Dig, dig, dig. Oh, it is a dinosaur. George drops Mr. Dinosaur into the hole. Dinosaur plant, cries George. George, says Peppa, giggling. Dinosaurs don't grow on trees. No, they don't. The end. Funny story time, guys. Join us again tomorrow for another Peppapig upload. And go ahead and check out the Peppapig playlist. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. And today we'll be reading from the Peppapig Little Library. I got these cute little books and I'll be reading them for you guys today. Let's go. We'll be starting by reading Peppapig at playgroup. And let's see what Peppa is doing at playgroup today with Georgie. Peppapig is busy at playgroup. Good morning, Peppa. Her teacher is called Madame Gazelle. Good morning, Madame Gazelle. Peppa sees all her friends at playgroup. Susie, Danny, Candy, Rebecca, and Pedro. Peppa likes painting pictures. Do you like my very pretty flowers? Yes, Peppa. It looks so pretty. Peppa's favorite lesson is ballet. Peppa loves going to playgroup. I'm a graceful ballerina. Yes, you are. The end. for joining us for story time today, guys. Join us again tomorrow, and don't forget to check out my Peppapig playlist. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig, the Boat Pond. Quack, quack, quack. Peppa and George have brought their toy boats to race on the pond. George's boat has to be wound up. Click, click, wheel. The dogs come over to see Peppa and George. Hello, dogs. May we use your pond to sail our boat? Asks Peppa. My boat doesn't wind up, says Peppa, looking for the winder in her boat. Your boat doesn't need winding up, Peppa, says Mommy Pig. It just needs a little help, says Daddy Pig, blowing Peppa's boat along. Here is Peppa's friend Susie Sheep. Hello, everyone, she cries. I've got my speedboat. It has battery to make it go. Wow, Susie. Woof! Here is Danny Dog with Grandad Dog. My granddad made me this paddle boat. It's steamed powered, says Danny. That's very nice, Danny. Rebecca Rabbit arrives with her mommy. I wish I had a boat, she says. I've got an idea, says Daddy Pig, picking up his newspaper. When I was a little piggy, I used to fold newspaper to make paper boat, says Daddy Pig, handing a boat to Rebecca. Ooh, squeak! Thank you, Mr. Pig, says Rebecca, placing her paper boat on the pond. Now George wants a paper boat too. Uh-oh. Daddy Pig makes paper boat for everyone. Let's race, says Mommy Pig. Ready, steady, blow. The boat speed across the pond. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Ooh. We have a winner, says Daddy Pig. That's George's boat, says Peppa. George is the winner. Hooray! Everyone cheers. Hooray for George. I like paper boats the best, cries Peppa. Me too, cry all the children. It's time to go now. To go home now. Everyone has had a great day. Bye-bye, ducks, says Peppa. The ducks enjoy the toy boats, but they like having their pond bag too. Quack, quack. The end. Thanks for tuning into Storytime with Gemma. Don't forget to go ahead and check out my Peppapig playlist. And join us again tomorrow for another upload. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig, Mr. Scarecrow. Peppa and George are visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig. The sun is out and Grandpa Pig is in the garden. I'm planting seeds, says Grandpa Pig. they will grow into beautiful flowers. As soon as Grandpa Pig drops the seed, a little bird flies down and starts eating them. Tweet! Shoo! Shoo! Cries Grandpa Pig. Grandpa, yes, Peppa, your seeds are in the little bird's tummy. Granny Pig comes outside. We need a scarecrow, she says. What's a scarecrow? Asks Peppa. It's a straw person that scares birds away, explained Grandpa Pig. Follow me. Grandpa Pig marches to his shed. There are lots of things in here that we can use to make a scarecrow, says Grandpa Pig. First, we need 2 big sticks and some strings. We'll find them, shouts Peppa. Come on, George. That was quick. Peppa has found 2 big sticks. George has found some strings. They race out into the garden. They can't wait to start building the scarecrow. Ooh! Grandpa Pig ties the big stick together to make the scarecrow's body. Granny Pig puts some straw in a sack to make the scarecrow's head. The scarecrow needs something to wear, says Grandpa Pig. Peppa chooses a coat and George picks out a hat. Together they paint on the face. Mr. Scarecrow is ready. Look, Grandpa, cries Peppa. The birds want to eat your seeds again. Don't worry, said Grandpa Pig. Mr. Scarecrow will scare them off. The birds spot Mr. Scarecrow and fly away. It worked. Hooray! Now my seeds won't be eaten, says Grandpa Pig, smiling. Peppa looks up at the bird in the tree. They look sad, she said. Do you think they're hungry? That's why I brought this Peppa, says Granny Pig. She shows Peppa a bird feather, then fills it with seeds and hang it on the tree. Now the birds have their own seeds to eat. Come on, birdies, lunchtime, calls Granny Pig. Hooray! Cheers, Peppa. Peppa is happy that Grandpa Pig's seeds won't be eaten, but she's even happier that the birds won't be hungry. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. See you next time. And go ahead and check out the Peppapig playlist. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig, George's Race Car. Peppa and George are visiting their grandparents. They have done all kinds of things, like go sailing, playing with a robot toy, visit the dinosaur museum, and feed chickens. Now Daddy Pig has arrived and they are watching television together. Vroom, vroom. There's a race car show playing. Vroom, says George. He wants to play race cars. That gives Grandpa Pig an idea. Let's build George a race car, he says. They arrive at his shed. Together, they collect items to build George's race car. It is hard work. What's your favorite number, George? Asks Daddy Pig. Snort, snort. George replies. Since there were 2 snorts, Daddy Pig paints a big 2 on the car. Now it is complete. Along come Danny, Zoe, and Pedro. We'll race you 3 times around the garden, George, Danny says. Peppa holds up a checkered flag. 3, 2, 1, go! She says. George is speedy. He wins the first lap. Then he wins the second. But will he win the third? Oh. One of the race car's wheels has broken off. George is stuck. Oh my. Don't worry, George, says Peppa. I'm the chief mechanic. I can fix it. Peppa repairs the race car wheel. But now George is last. He feels sad. Peppa knows that George will never win while he is upset. So she invites Granny Pig outside. Granny Pig has an idea. She will cheer him on. Go, George, go! Granny Pig cheers. Zoom! The plan works, and George takes the lead. He races across the finish line. Peppa leaps up in the air. George did it! He won the race. Well done, George, says Peppa. You're the best race car driver in the whole world. And you've got the best chief mechanic in the whole world too. That's Daddy Pig. Yes, that's me, says Peppa. Peppa loves race cars. Everyone loves race cars. Beep, 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 beep. Be a supportive friend or family member. George won the race, but Peppa helped support and encourage him. Here are some ways you can support and encourage the people in your life. Ask if they need help. Offer to help fix something. Say positive things like, you're doing great. Tell them what you like about them. Give them a hug. But always remember to ask first. Yes, that is very important. And make them something special. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. See you next time. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig, Peppa's Pizza Party. Pizza! It is lunchtime at Peppa's house. Can we make pizza? Peppa asks. George loves pizza. So do Mommy and Daddy Pig. Ooh. Peppa is excited to start. But first, everyone must wash their hands. Yes, very important, guys. They use soap and water to get all clean. Wash, wash, wash. When they are done washing, they gather ingredients. To make our pizza, Daddy Pig says, we need flour. Tomato, chimes in Mommy Pig. Cheese, continues Daddy Pig. And toppings. Yes, don't forget the toppings. But wait, there's something missing. George likes pineapple on his pizza. Peppa says. Pineapple, Daddy Pig repeats. On pizza? I think that's against the law. Peppa laughs. Daddy Pig is being silly. It is not against the law to put pineapple on pizza. Now it is time to make the pizza. Mommy Pig puts the flour into a bowl. Then she adds water. This mixture will become pizza dough. Taste tasty. Ooh. Mommy Pig sprinkles a little flour on the table so that the dough doesn't stick. Then, with their clean hands, Peppa and George knead the dough. Bam, bam, bam. I am big and strong, Peppa says, and George is big and strong too. Next, they make the dough into 4 balls. These will become 4 pizza pie. Mommy Pig rolls the dough balls flat with a rolling pin. Oh, says Peppa, they look like pizzas now. Mommy and Daddy Pig make a sauce with the tomatoes. Then Peppa and George smooth it over the dough. Ooh, pretty. I like making pizza, snored Peppa. Peppa says it's so fun. Now it is time to decorate the pizzas. Can we make happy faces on top? Peppa asks. Of course we can, replies Daddy Pig. I'll use mushroom to make eyes and olives for the smile. And I'll use onions for the eyes and basil for the smile, says Mommy Pig. Peppa uses sweet corn for the smile and a little tomato for the eyes. George has pineapple for the eyes and cheese for the smile. Cheese! Mommy Pig puts on her oven mitts. Then she places the pizza in the oven to bake. Ooh, I'm so excited, guys. It's gonna be delicious. When the pizzas are done, Peppa, George, Mommy Pig, and Daddy Pig eat in the garden. Their pizza are very good. These are the best pizza in the world, says Peppa. Peppa loves pizza. Everyone loves pizza. Me too. Decorate your own pizza below. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma, guys. Go ahead and check out my Peppa Pig playlist. We have over 100 Peppa Pig story time. And join me again tomorrow for another upload. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today I'll be reading Peppa Pig, Granny Pig's Chickens. Quack, 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 quack. Peppa and George are very excited. Woo! Tonight, they are sleeping at Granny and Grandpa Pig's house. Peppa and George take a look at their bedroom. It was your mommy's room when she was a little piggy. Granny Pig explains. Out in the garden, Grandpa Pig proudly shows Peppa and George the vegetable he has grown. But there is a bare patch of earth where Grandpa Pig's lettuce ought to be. Meet Jemima, Sarah, and Vanessa, says Granny Pig, as 3 ants come to peck at the bare earth. Those ants ate my lettuce, complains Grandpa Pig. Peppa and George give the chickens some corn and lead them back towards the chicken house. Neville the cockerel comes over to see what is happening. Cock-a-doodle-doo, he crows. Do, says George. Let's see if the chicken have a surprise for us in the morning, says Granny Pig. At bedtime, Peppa and George climb into Mommy Pig's old bed. It is very bouncy and comfy, and they sleep soundly until morning. When cock-a-doodle-doo, they are woken by Neville the cockerel's loud cock-a-doodle-doo. Peppa and George quickly get dressed and race outside to the chicken house. They peep inside. There are 4 eggs in the straw, says Peppa. Well done, Jemima, Sarah, and Vanessa, says Granny Pig. That's 1 egg each for breakfast. Thank you for waking us up, Neville, says Peppa. Cock-a-doodle-doo, he crows. Do, says George, and thank you, ends for our breakfast, Peppa says. Peppa carefully carries the eggs inside using Granny Pig's baskets. Boil eggs for everyone, calls Granny Pig. When breakfast is ready, Peppa and George are hungry after all that running about and egg collecting. Granny, your chicken lay yummy eggs, Peppa says. Ooh, yummy. Granny Pig explained that the corn Peppa and George fed the ends makes the eggs taste good. The eggs taste even better because Granny Pig's ends ate my lettuces, grunts Grandpa Pig. And everyone laughs, even Grandpa Pig. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. See you next time. And don't forget to check out my Peppapig playlist. We have over 100 Peppapig storybooks. And go ahead and check out the other playlists. Join us again tomorrow for another story time with Gemma. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig, the Traffic Jam. Beep, 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 beep. Granny and Grandpa Pig are making lunch for Peppa and her family. I dug up lots of tasty potatoes, says Grandpa Pig. Perfect, says Granny Pig. That'll be plenty for everyone. Peppa and her family are on their way, but they are stuck in a traffic jam. We're going slower than a snail, sighs Peppa. Don't worry, says Mommy Pig. I know a shortcut. Ooh. Meanwhile, Grandpa Pig checks on the potatoes. Wow, they smell good, he says. I think they're almost ready. Sniff, sniff. Whee! Mommy Pig heads off the main road on her shortcut. Are you sure this is the right way, asks Daddy Pig. Whee! Cry Peppa and George as the car zooms down the hill. They drive past some ducks. Hello, ducks, says Peppa. We're taking a shortcut to Granny and Grandpa's house. Quack, quack. I hope the shortcut works, says Daddy Pig. Ooh. Me too. Let's go back to the main road, says Mommy Pig. I'm sure we'll be ahead of the traffic now. Mommy Pig drives up another hill towards the main road. Vroom, vroom. Oh no, says Mommy Pig. We're still at the back of the traffic jam. We're stuck, sighed Peppa again. Daddy Pig grabs his phone. It's time to call Granny Pig. The potatoes are ready, says Grandpa Pig. But where is everyone? Daddy Pig just called, says Granny Pig. The poor dears are stuck in a traffic jam. Oh my. That is a lot of potato, guys. Now the food will get cold, says Granny Pig sadly. Suddenly, Grandpa Pig has a brilliant idea. If they can't come to lunch, he says, we'll take lunch to them. Aww. Look, cries Peppa. There's Granny and Grandpa. Up out, says Grandpa Pig. We've brought lunch. That's an awful lot of potatoes, says Daddy Pig, chuckling. I've cooked so many potatoes, says Grandpa Pig. There's enough for the whole traffic jam. Gather around, everyone, calls Granny Pig. It's lunchtime. Hooray! Everyone cheers. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma, guys. Go ahead and check out my Peppapig playlist. And join us again tomorrow for another story time. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today I'll be reading Peppapig, the best pet. Peppa. Today there is a pet competition at playgroup. Peppa is entering a goldfish, Goldie. Susie Sheep is helping Peppa get Goldie ready. Here you are, Goldie, says Peppa, sprinkling some food into our bowl. Pedro Pony is getting his pet ready. It's a stick insect. You're coming with me to playgroup, he says. Pedro is sure his stick insect will win. Edmund Elephant is entering his gecko. He's teaching him a clever trick to do with his tongue. Now you try it, Edmund tells his gecko. Everyone is at playgroup with their pets. Dr. Amster the vet has come to judge the pet competition. Hello everyone, says Dr. Amster. What lovely pets you all have. Dr. Amster looked at Goldie the goldfish first. What does she like doing? Asked Dr. Amster. She likes swimming around, says Peppa, and opening and closing her mouth. Oh, Susie. Wow. Dr. Amster moves on to Pedro's stick insect. What's his name? She asks. Steven, says Pedro. And what does he do? Asks Dr. Amster. He looks like a stick, says Pedro proudly. Next, Dr. Amster visits Edmund Gecko. What can he do? She asks. Edmund shows her his gecko clever trick of poking his tongue out. Oh, says says Dr. Hamster. Last of all, Zoe Zebra surprises everyone with her toy monkey. Why is he upside down? Asks Dr. Hamster. He's asleep, says Zoe. How lovely, says Dr. Hamster. I've brought my pet too, says Dr. Hamster. This is Tiddles the turtle. First prize goes to Tiddles. Tiddles the turtle. The children are upset. That's not fair, says Edmund. It's your own pet, cries Zoe. But the prize for our best fish goes to Goldie the goldfish, says Dr. Hamster. Hooray! Cheer Peppa and Susie. And the other winners are Pedro, Stick Inside, Edmund's Gecko, and Zoe's Star Monkey, announces Dr. Hamster. But which is the best pet? Asks Peppa. All of them, replied Dr. Hamster. They are all winners. Yay! Hooray! The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma, guys. And don't forget to check out my Peppapig playlist. We have over 100 Peppapig story time. And join us again tomorrow for another Peppapig upload. Bye. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig, Peppa's Mermaid Adventure. Peppa and Rebecca love to play mermaids. Sometime I wish I were a mermaid, says Rebecca. I'd love to have a shiny tail and swim underwater every day. Peppa replies. That gives Rebecca an idea. Let's have an under the sea party, she says. Ooh, under the sea, under the sea. Peppa and Rebecca make some under the sea party invitations. They use lots and lots of glitter. Very shiny, says Daddy Pig. Just like mermaid tails, replied Peppa. Then Peppa and Susie hand out the invitations. The party is tomorrow, Peppa says. Please come. That night, Peppa is very excited. Remember, Peppa, the party is in 2 days, Mommy Pig reminds her. But I told everyone the party is tomorrow, says Peppa. Oh no, says Mommy Pig. We forgot to put the date on the invitation. Oh. Mommy Pig makes a phone call. Then there is a knock at the door. It's Miss Rabbit. Miss Rabbit, emergency party planner and entertainer extraordinaire, says Miss Rabbit. I hear you are in need of an under-the-sea party. Yes, says Daddy Pig, for tomorrow. No problem, replied Miss Rabbit. You go to bed. I've got this. In the morning, Peppa and her family wake up and go downstairs. Their house has been transformed into an underwater wonderland. Look, George, gasped Peppa. There's a beach and shells. Ooh. Peppa finds some costumes. Oh, she squealed in delight. The mermaid costume has the shiniest tail I have ever seen. The fridge is full of tasty food. There are crab-shaped treats and starfish-shaped sandwiches. Ooh. Soon the guests arrive. They are all dressed in underwater costumes. Hello, says Peppa. I'm Peppa the mermaid, and this is George the crab. Welcome to our Under the Sea home. Ooh. Once everyone is inside, it is time for the underwater adventure to begin. First, Miss Rabbit asks the children to wiggle their toes in the sand. Oh, says Peppa. It feels a little tickly. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Next, Miss Rabbit hands out seashells. Put the shells to your ears and tell me what you can hear, she says. The sea, shout the children. Then Miss Rabbit gives them some smelly toy fish. Take a good sniff. What can you smell, she asks. Shouts the children. These smell fishy. Yucky. When they are done, Miss Rabbit teaches the children how to swans. It's swimming and dancing at the same time, Miss Rabbit says. She waves her arms. The children do the same thing. The children love to swans. Swans, swans, swans. Peppa is having so much fun. She imagined that she and Rebecca are under the sea. There's all sorts of things, like a sea horse, stingray, and fish. Being a mermaid is amazing, Daddy, cries Peppa. Can we have another under the sea party next week? Next week? Daddy Pig repeats. Maybe he'll need to call Miss Rabbit's party cleanup extraordinary. Yes. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. See you next time. And don't forget to go ahead and check out my Peppapig playlist. And join us again next time for another Peppapig story time. Bye. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig Granny Pig's Perfume. Fancy! Squint, squint. Peppa and George are visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig's house. Peppa is watching Granny Pig at her dressing table. You smell nice, Granny, says Peppa. Thank you, says Granny Pig. It's my perfume, the lavender. Ooh, fancy. Granny Pig's perfume smells like her garden. Perfume is made of flowers. Granny Pig tells Peppa. Peppa asks for a glass of water. Now I'm going to put flowers in it and make perfume, she says. George comes to see what Peppa is doing in the garden. I'm making perfume, she says. It's going to be the prettiest, smelliest perfume ever. Snort. George wants to watch Peppa making perfume. First, I pick a smelly flower, says Peppa. Then I put it in my beaker. George sniffs Peppa perfume. Yuck. George does not like smelly flowers. Ew. Grandpa Pig is in his herb garden. Smell this, says Peppa. Boy, snored Grandpa Pig. It smells like pond water. Peppa explained that the smell is her special perfume. Grandpa Pig takes another sniff. Oh yes, he decides. It is the most beautiful perfume in the world. George still does not like Peppa's flower perfume. Take this bucket, says Grandpa Pig. You can make perfume out of something else. There are lots of lovely smelly things in Grandpa Pig's herb garden. This is rosemary, says Grandpa Pig. I like to use it in my cooking. Sniffs Peppa. It smells interesting. Ugh, splutters George. George still hasn't made any perfume. He doesn't like the smell of anything. There must be something that you like the smell of, says Grandpa Pig. George goes off to find a muddy puddle. He fills up his bucket. Ooh, muddy puddles. George runs back. He gives the bucket to Granny Pig to sniff. Actually, she said, that smells quite nice. It smells lovely, agrees Peppa. Grandpa Pig sniffs George's bucket. I say, he snorts, that is delightful. Ooh, George. What did you put in the perfume, George? Asks Grandpa Pig. George runs back to the muddy puddle. George's perfume is made out of muddy bubbles. Puddles, giggles Peppa. Ah, say Granny Pig. Perfume the muddy puddle. Peppa, George, Granny Pig, and Grandpa Pig all jump in the muddy puddle. Granny Pig snorts. Peppa, you smell even nicer than you did before. Grandpa Pig agrees. Maybe Granny Pig should wear perfume the muddy puddle more often. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime. See you next time. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the Peppapig playlist. And join us again tomorrow for another upload. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig. Daddy Pig puts up a picture. Mommy Pig is going to visit Granny and Grandpa Pig. She calls to tell them she is on her way. Daddy Pig is staying at home with Peppa and George. He has an important job to do. Daddy Pig is going to put up a picture. He is the DIY expert of the house. Are you sure you can do it? Asks Mommy Pig. Please don't make a mess. Oh, laughs Daddy Pig. Okay, Daddy. As soon as Mommy Pig has gone, Daddy Pig gets started. Stand back, children, and watch a craftsman at work, he says. Daddy Pig finds a nail to hang the picture on. He gets out his hammer. Don't break the wall, Daddy, warns Peppa. Daddy Pig hits the nail with the hammer. But now there's a lot of big cracks in the wall. Oh my. It's not meant to do that, says Daddy Pig. Oh, cries Peppa. You have broken the wall. Yes, he did. Whoa. Daddy Pig decides to pull the nail out and fill in the cracks. Uh-oh. Daddy Pig has pulled too hard. Now He really has broken the wall. Do you think Mommy Pig will notice? Asked Peppa. I think she might, says Daddy Pig. Oh yes. Daddy Pig has to mend the wall before Mommy Pig comes home. Peppa and George help him fill the hole with bricks. Daddy Pig fetches some plaster. He spread it all over the bricks. There, he chuckles. Easy as pie. The wall is looking better already. Okay. Daddy Pig opens a pot of green paint. He paints all over the plaster. It is good as new, he said. Hooray! Hooray! The wall is mended. But look at all the mess Daddy Pig has made. Goodness me, says Daddy Pig. We've better clean up before Mommy Pig comes back. Yes. Daddy Pig washes Peppa and George. They haven't had a bath in the daytime before. Splash, splash, splash. Peppa vacuums the floor while Daddy Pig tidies up the tools. Hurry, Daddy, says Peppa. George watches at the window. Mommy! Mommy Pig is walking up to the house. Uh-oh. Hello, says Mommy Pig. Why haven't you put up the picture? She quickly hangs it on the wall. There. That looked easy, guessed Peppa. But when you did it, Daddy, it looked really hard. Shh, don't tell anyone, says Daddy Pig. The end. Thanks for tuning into Storytime with Gemma. See you next time. And go ahead and check out the other playlists. And join us again tomorrow for another Peppapig upload. See you later. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig, Grandad Dog's Garage. Beep beep. This is Grandad Dog's garage. Beep beep. And here are Peppa and her family in their car. What can we do for you today? Asked Grandad Dog. Petrol or here for your tires? No, thank you, replies Daddy Pig. Our tires have lots of air. How about trying our new automatic car wash? Asked Danny Dog. No, thank you. I've just washed our car, says Daddy Pig. Just do I slowly, please. Certainly, says Grandad Dog. Grandad Dog's garage sells all sorts of things, even ice lollies. Peppa gets an orange ice lolly, and George gets a strawberry one. They giggle happily. Are you sure you don't need petrol for your journey? Asks Grandad Dog. No, that will be all, replies Daddy Pig. Thank you. He pays for the ice lollies and drives off. Bye. Daddy Pig doesn't get very far before the car stops. Grandad Dog spots that Daddy Pig needs help. We are coming to the rescue, he calls out. Grandad Dog takes a good look at the car. You run out of petrol, says Grandad Dog. I'll tow you to my garage. There's plenty of petrol there. Yes. Grandad Dog tows the car back to the garage. Peppa, George, Mommy and Daddy Pig go too. It is lots of fun. Grandad Dog fills Peppa's car with petrol. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Thank you, Grandad Dog, says Daddy Pig. Now the car will go, replies Grandad Dog, smiling. Oh dear, now Susie's sheep car has got a flat tire. Mommy, she makes a phone call. To the rescue, cried Danny and Grandad Dog again. Jumping into their tow truck, Peppa ups it too. Hello, Susie, says Peppa. We've come to rescue you. Hooray! Cheers Susie and Mommy Sheep. Back at Grandad Dog's garage, Grandad Dog filled the flat tire with air. Beep, beep. Now Granny and Grandpa Pig have arrived in their car. Hello, said Grandad Dog. Here for petrol or here? Neither, replies Grandpa Pig. We want to try out your new automatic car wash. Of course, says Grandad Dog. Grandad Dog's garage is always here to help. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. See you next time. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the Peppa Pig playlist. And join us again tomorrow for another Peppa Pig upload. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppa Pig The Storm. It is a sunny day. Peppa and George are having a picnic. Would you like some tea, Teddy? Asks Peppa. Suddenly the sky gets darker. It's going to rain. Peppa and George calls Mommy Pig. Come inside. A thunderstorm is coming. Peppa and George hurry to the house. Oh no, cries Peppa. I forgot Teddy. I'll rescue her, says Daddy Pig. Daddy to the rescue. Be quick, warns Mommy Pig. It's about to rain. Don't worry, says Daddy Pig. There's time. It has started to rain. Hurry, Daddy, hurry. Daddy Pig rushes back to the house with Teddy. Nearly there, Teddy, says Daddy Pig. Let's get you inside. When he gets inside, Daddy Pig hands Teddy to Peppa. Teddy, gasps Peppa, you're soaking wet. Poor Teddy, says Mommy Pig. I'll fetch a bowl. I'll fetch a towel. Mommy Pig dries Teddy. There we go, Teddy, she says. All nice and dry. I'm a bit wet too, says Daddy Pig, shivering. Poor Daddy Pig, says Mommy Pig. Let's get you dry. Peppa, George and Mommy Pig work together to dry Daddy Pig. Suddenly, there's a big flash of light, followed by a loud bang. What was that? Gasped Peppa. It's just a thunderstorm, Peppa, says Mommy Pig. Don't worry, adds Daddy Pig. We're dry in air. Drip, drip. Says Daddy Pig. We seem to have a leak. Quick, says Mommy Pig. Find something to catch the water. Daddy Pig runs off and returns with a bucket. Daddy to the rescue. Yes. Cheers, Peppa. Oh, says Daddy Pig. Problem solved. And I think the storm is passing. The rain stops and everyone heads outside. Ooh, muddy puddles. Look at all the muddy puddles, says Peppa. Thunderstorms are amazing. Peppa loves thunderstorm, especially when they make lots of muddy puddles. Puddles, 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 muddy, muddy puddles. The end, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. Don't forget to go ahead and check out my Peppapig playlist. And there are other playlists as well. And join us again tomorrow for another Peppapig upload. Whee! Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig, Captain Daddy Pig. Mommy and Daddy Pig are borrowing Grandpa Pig's boat. Please be careful, Daddy Pig, says Grandpa Pig. Stop fussing, says Granny Pig, laughing. Peppa and George giggle. Mommy Pig is steering the boat. Ring the bell, Peppa, says Daddy Pig. Ding, ding. Aye, Captain Daddy, says Peppa, reaching for the bell. Bing. Daddy Pig, Peppa, and George head below deck. Now, where's our picnic? Asks Daddy Pig. Here it is, he says. Hooray! Cheers, Peppa and George. Everyone enjoys their picnic on the boat. Yummy sandwich, says Peppa. Delicious, agrees Daddy Pig. What's that noise? Asks Mommy Pig. Some dogs have come to join in the picnic. Hello, Mrs. Dog, says Peppa. Quack, quack, quack. After the picnic, Daddy Pig steers the boat. Look out, warns Mommy Pig. Long reeds ahead. Suddenly, the boat stops. Oh dear, the boat is stuck in the reeds. Oh. I know just what to do, says Daddy Pig, jumping into the water. Splash! He pushes the boat out of the reeds. Hooray! Captain Daddy Pig to the rescue. Oh no, the boat is floating away without Daddy Pig. Swim faster, Daddy! Shouts Peppa. Daddy Pig swims quickly to the boat. Whew. That's enough adventure for one day, says Daddy Pig, chuckling. He carefully steers the boat home. Oh dear, calls Grandpa Pig. Shall I help you moor the boat? Grandpa Pig climbs aboard to help. Mind the bridge, cries Daddy Pig. Oops, the boat has bumped into the bridge. Says Grandpa Pig, I didn't mean to do that. Oh dear, the flagpole has snapped. Never mind, Grandpa, says Peppa. I can help mend it. Thank you, Peppa, says Grandpa Pig. I'll be more careful next time. Everyone laughs. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. Go ahead and check out my Peppapig playlist. We have over 100 story time. And join us again tomorrow for another Peppapig upload. Hello everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading Peppapig School Camp. Peppa and her playgroup friends are going camping in the woods. I can't wait to set up my tent, says Peppa excitedly. Happy camping, everyone, says Miss Rabbit, the bus driver. Breathe in that wonderful fresh air, children, says Madame Gazelle. Everyone breathes deeply. Oh, they sigh. This is a lovely spot, says Madame Gazelle. We'll pitch our tents here. Madame Gazelle shows everyone how to put up their tents. Now, children, she says, you must all find a partner to share with. I'll go with you, Peppa, says Susie Sheep. We'll make a good team. Peppa and Susie work together to put up their tent. Almost done, says Peppa. Soon, Peppa and her friends are finished putting up their tents. Good job, everyone, says Madame Gazelle. We're all ready to stay the night, says Peppa excitedly. Whee! Now, what can we do to keep warm? Asks Madame Gazelle. Make a fire, says Peppa. That's right, Peppa, says Madame Gazelle. I need you all to collect sticks for a campfire. Everyone collects sticks, then Madame Gazelle makes a fire. Let's have a sing-along, says Madame Gazelle. She plays her guitar, and the children sing song. La, 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 la. Soon it is nighttime, and the moon is high in the sky. I can see so many stars, cries Susie. Can we have one more song before bed? Asks Peppa, yawning. Please. After one last song, the fire is put out, and everyone tucks themselves up inside their tents. Good night, children, says Madame Gazelle. Good night, shout Peppa and her friends. Peppa and Susie are in their sleeping bags when they hear a noise. Ooh, I wonder who could that be? What was that? Cries Peppa. I'm scared. We're scared too, says Zoo Zebra from a nearby tent. And us? Shouts Danny Dog. Madame Gazelle calls Susie. We're scared. Why don't we all sing song in my tent for a while, says Madame Gazelle. Come on in, everyone. Peppa and her friends love camping, especially when they get to sing in Madame Gazelle's tent. The end. Thanks for tuning into Storytime with Gemma. See you next time. And don't forget to check out the Peppapig playlist.